we got Per Welinder. So you founded a couple companies.
Yeah, over the years, it's been quite a few. First, in a way, I kind of managed my own career as a professional skateboarder, which pretty much all of us had to do because back then there was no agents or managers.
Sure.
Um, then I rolled it into approaching Tony Hawk, and we got together and started Birdhouse. And from there, we actually helped start a few other companies too, Flip Skateboards, Baker Skateboards, Hookups, Fury Trucks. Yeah, we started quite a few companies back in the 90s when Birdhouse was founded.
That's so cool. And because of you, I actually met Tony Hawk.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah,
introduced,
he's an
you made that
awesome.
happen. Thank
Yeah,
you
no,
so
he.
much for that.
I'm sure I didn't, but I'm. Thank you for that. But no, he's a great guy. He's a great,
He,
great guy.
he really is. When was the last time you were at his studio?
You know what? That's been a really long time. I have not been down there. I can't even remember last time I was down there. Many years ago.
Okay. It's the same place?
Yes, yeah,
Yeah. With a big half pipe in there?
yep, yeah. He's been there for a really long time.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So take me back. You're at Venice Beach skateboarding, doing some tricks, and you have like a hat out like for tips, basically, right?
Yeah. No, it's funny you mentioned that because yeah, I was actually corrected, and we actually had a cigar box
A
that
cigar
my
box.
Bob and I used to kind of walk around after we did a little bit of a street performance to collect our quarters and dimes and every
Yeah.
now and then a dollar back then. And yeah, so that's exactly it. And we did that to do two things. Hey, we loved skateboarding. Freestyle can be confined to a small little area. So yeah, we put on shows on a lot of weekends for quite a few years.
And you got a business card in your cigar box.
Yeah, so one of the gentlemen that came by during one of those demos that we did was Bob Gale, and he left a business card in our cigar box, and it simply stated, "Call me." So we did. And he referred us immediately to Walter Scott, which is, he was the stunt coordinator for the film. And he kind of asked us a bunch of questions, showed a storyboard of what was expected. And we were saying, all right, sounds good. Looks promising. And it wasn't a whole lot more than that in terms of casting. He basically said, no, you guys got the job. So we were just anxiously anticipating the day when we were supposed to do these stunts. And what ended up happening was, which is a kind of a helpful story for Bob and I, the scene was not shot on location as it was originally planned. So they ended up changing some of the more dramatic parts of the stunt, including, I mean, involving the skateboard. And it shifted to shoot the whole scene on the Universal Studio lots. And although the skateboard scene is absolutely amazing, I'm not taking away anything from it, but it did not involve as many acrobatics as was assumed in the first storyboard
Yeah.
with flips and all kinds of crazy stuff,
You
or at
originally
least
do like
handspring.
kind of backflips and stuff off
It was
train.
basically a handspring. It wasn't handspring that was expected, and I immediately after seeing the original storyboard went home to figure out. Like, I was pretty strong on doing handstands on skateboards, but not to do as a handspring that was kind of asked of. So I tried to kind of practice that on a metal bar, and that was not a good idea. I actually slipped and landed on my back on that bar, and I think I was out for like 4 weeks, couldn't walk. Nothing was broken, but it was just really torn and really terrible.
On set?
Luckily, they had not started shooting. And then
On set, or this was on your own?
I was practicing that on my own because I wanted to
Oh,
see if I
got
could
it.
do the stunt.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I got hurt and was very pleased or relieved when I heard that, oh no, yeah, you guys don't need to do handsprings no more. Now it's more like skating and jumping over a bush. and then doing kind of like a quick turn and then have this car push us backwards in and around a corner. And that seemed a lot more plausible for us. And I wouldn't say easy, but a little bit more what we were used to doing on our skateboard at the time, you know.
Yeah. So originally, Bob was hired for Stoltz, and you were hired as JJ Cohen's double.
Actually, what ended up happening, if you go back, they had two skateboard stunt doubles, and Bob and I were both dressed up as Marty McFly when Eric Stoltz was the main actor, Marty McFly. And we were shooting for a good, I don't recall exactly, probably a good month, it seemed, maybe even longer.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, we realized that Eric Stoltz was no longer on the set. And at that time, that's when Michael J. Fox came in. And then, of course, I'm a little shorter than Bob Schmelzer, and Michael J. Fox is shorter than Eric
Yeah.
Stoltz. So that made sense. But you're
Very
right.
small
I
guy.
I ended up because Walter was super cool and said, "Hey, you're just standing around, and you seem to have the physique of JJ. So why don't you shave your head and suit up and look like JJ?" And I said, "Hey, why not? You know, I'm not a trained
Huh.
stuntman. How hard can it be?" But I mean, it was a little bit hairy. I was the guy sitting in JJ's place when the old car end up hitting the manure, and the manure falls on, well, first on me and then the whole team or the whole gang. So we had to shoot that 3 times, and the driver, amazing driver, he did not hit the truck itself except the last time. And of course, I'm the one hitting the truck because it's the passenger door the way he turned the car. So that was adrenaline, let's call that. And then all the manure came. Of course, it wasn't real manure, but it
You
was
remember what
soil.
it
And
was? Dirt
if you
or
haven't
like
had, what's that?
what was that? Dirt?
Probably mulch. I think it was just mulch, brown mulch, like when you want to, garden, do something, a garden in your backyard.
Yeah.
And what was cool about it was, obviously you sit there for a while and it's really warm. Like that's all I remember. Like it just hits you and then you're all covered. And it's like, oh, this is really warm. So it's kind of like a mud bath without the
But it
mud,
was
you know.
you
But
felt gross though.
no, not at all. I mean, that's the thing, of course. It says manure on the truck and you'd think it smelled really bad. That was actually easy, but yeah, obviously it depicts bad stuff for the bad guys. So yeah,
I don't
but it
know.
didn't.
Just a bunch of crap on you. It just seems like
Yeah, no, seriously. I mean, of course, yeah, afterwards you had to take a little while to clean up. Yeah, that's for sure.
yeah, that's so cool. So
Yeah.
Stoltz leaves and then you are doing the skateboarding.
Yeah, so they had to reshoot the scene because the director wanted to be sure it looked as close to Michael as possible. So they reshot the whole scene. And then in the editing board, they realized that some shots were better with Bob and some were, better with me, where it was a little bit easier to see well, the physique of the person. So it's probably 50-50 or something like that. But it's
Bob
it's
mixed
it's
up.
sometimes very hard to say. And also there were other stuntmen doubling for him as well, jumping in and doing, jumping over the car and what have you. So there was quite a few of us involved to make Michael J. Fox look as good as possible.
Charlie was one of them.
Charlie was the main guy for
Yeah.
sure. But I think it was even another guy too, but I don't recall. But it seemed like a lot of people there were ready to jump in to be sure that the scene could be shot the way the director wanted it, and also be sure everybody is fit for fight and not hurt and what have you. So they did an incredible job both shooting and not having to do too many takes, which was, a good sign. And then, of course, in the editing board post-production, they did just amazing job. You have to really watch closely to see. And even today, when Bob and I look at, we're not sure where some of the scene is that Bob? Is that
Yeah.
me? Is that Charlie?
Yeah.
So good, 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 fantastic job on the post-production there.
That's so cool, man. Yeah, that's really cool. Did you notice the whole vibe change when they switched from Eric to Michael?
I do not. I mean, I actually sat in the same dressing room as Eric for makeup and getting us ready. At that time I had to have a wig too because I was also doubling for
You had to shave
J.
your head, and then you have
Yeah, so it was kind of like whatever they need me. But yeah, I did notice that again, like one day he was not asked to come back, and I didn't really question it, and I don't know a whole lot about the detail. And I'm sure it had a lot to do with perhaps his physique, that he was a little bit too big, a little bit too serious. I'm not sure what Zemeckis and Bob were thinking and the reason why, but that's
yeah.
how it ended up.
Any other cool stories? Like, do you remember seeing anyone there?
One thing that was really fun, a couple of people came up to us, to Bob and I, when we were kind of waiting around for each scene to be shot. So it's a lot of hurry up and wait. That's
Oh
definitely,
yeah,
okay, but it's true. So you talk with people and you snack a little bit, but we were told many times how lucky we were to be part of such a good crew. And of course, for Bob and I, we were not what I would say real stuntman or trained stuntman, nor were we actors. So for us, that was kind of our first job, if you will,
yeah,
in Hollywood. So, we didn't really know what to expect, but everybody was super nice. And my favorite part was during the lunch breaks, Bob and I would take out our skateboards and freestyle and do like a demo, like we would do at Venice.
really.
Uh, I think it was quite appreciated, because like, oh my God, that's so crazy. How can you do that? So that was kind of fun. So it felt almost like a sense of family, a movie family, a bigger family than your home, perhaps. But that was a really, really good feeling that they really appreciated that we were there and what we could do. Because, obviously the movie itself doesn't have that type of skating, but they want to make sure they had skaters that knew what they were talking about, could help with the prop. We definitely helped getting the skateboard ready. Um, it is supposed to be, steel wheels and, a piece of wood. And we
Right.
had to make that with modern equipment so you could skate it. Like the urethane wheels were painted silver to
Yeah,
make
yeah,
the
yeah. There was
wheels.
multiple skateboards you guys used.
Yeah. So
You used
again,
like regular skateboards too.
yeah, I don't know if they kept any. I've been told that there is none left of the skateboards that we rode, the one with the urethane wheels. But I know that I helped provide wheels to that, and the wheels had to kind of be a little smaller than was, you know, normal back then. So yeah, the prop team had to get to work, and they did a really, really good job making it totally skatable and yet look pretty much exactly like the board under that crate on the
That's
scooter.
Johnny Green's board. The kid.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
He's gonna be at Skate to the Future.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and his mom hired Bob to teach him how to skate.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
great story. And that Bob's a good dude, and he always is ready to help wherever he can. So that was a nice gesture, and I'm glad he did.
yeah. Do you stay in touch with Bob and anyone else from the cast?
I know just Bob. Bob and I actually met way before the movie from the skateboard career that we had. He was a freestyle skateboarder, which I was as well, and we really got along well. We both really like music. He was a DJ, and I was a DJ in college too, and really enjoyed just putting on some super cool tunes with a good beat and just skate together. Mostly in Huntington Beach. That's where
Great
I spent
place.
time. But we would also drive up and down the coast. If we weren't at Venice Beach, we would drive to San Luis Obispo, Fresno, Modesto, Sacramento, you name it. We drove all over the place. Bob had a really cool VW van again that we just jumped in and just rode up the coast pretty much and arranged demos at skate shops. And that was just fantastic.
After it was over, did you feel like a rock star? Like walking around, like,
No, but I'll tell you an interesting story. So
yeah.
I was in Sweden when the premiere was when the release of the movie happened in Hollywood. And a month later, I came back to the US to see it because it had not aired in Sweden. They had not released it in Sweden yet. So I ended up watching it in Santa Monica, still playing, 30 days later. And after the skateboard scene, and I swear, people stood up and applauded, like a full-on standing ovation for
Yeah,
that. And if you think about it, okay, maybe on a premiere, I get it. That's what people will do, but not 30 days later. Then you kind of know, wow, this is really hitting a very positive vibe with many Americans, especially families. It just has a great story and so many cool incidents in it. And of course, predictions too. And all around just an amazing movie. And we're just lucky that we were in the right place at the right time when
yes,
Bob was looking
absolutely.
for to cast skateboarders for his film.
It was a big impact on the skateboarding community.
Absolutely. It was a huge impact. In particular, it helped um, expose skateboarding to the rest of the world. I mean, California's been the mecca of skateboarding well before the movie. But a movie like this really propelled it into into countries all over the world. So that it played a huge part. And many people come up to me and say, "Yeah, I started skateboarding because of Back to the Future." And of course, that warms your heart and
Totally.
makes you realize how incredibly powerful that scene was in the movie. Because obviously, that's not the whole movie, but it was so impactful, which I'm
Totally.
also very glad of.
It's one of the biggest scenes in the movie, like memorable.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I'm a skateboarder, so I would have to say, yeah, that's really cool part. But there's so many neat parts in the movie. But yeah, the skateboard scene is just so well thought out, and it turned out that it was well executed and certainly incredibly well edited.
Yeah, so people stood up and applaud after the skateboard scene,
Yeah, yeah, and
and
it's
then
like
at
I
the end of the movie
round.
as well,
What's that?
and also at the very end of the movie.
No, not at the end. Just at the because at the end, most people I sit there and wait for the credits, because
Yeah,
my last name starts
sure,
with
your
W.
name's in it.
So my name is very late because of my last name. But of course, it's if you're in the movie, it's kind of fun to see your own name on the screen. And by that time, everybody had left. But no, there was no standing ovation at the end of the movie, but it was just after that scene. And I still felt like, wow, I've never been to a movie when that happens.
Did you get to keep anything?
I had the nice jacket that Nike made, Back to the
Oh, the
Future.
blue
I,
one.
Yes, I don't have that. I don't know where it is. It might be somewhere.
You gotta
And I
find
had the
that.
Back to the Future coming back for more #1 American movie. That T-shirt I still have, I believe, somewhere. And then a little folder. But those were maybe we were given a few more things I don't remember, but those were the three things that I believe everybody got.